Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Wildlife Wonders podcast. Woo! I'm your host, the one, the only, Siriana, back at it again with another episode after a long break. And y'all, a lot has happened in that time. So I just want to say, first off, thank you to every single one of you that still continue to download, to promote, to like, to share the podcast, to share all about the facts, to continue to support whenever you could, however you could, because that means a lot. I know that I went on a longer break than expected, almost a year now, but we are back, and let me update you on a couple things that happened after I took that break. One, I graduated grad school. Woo! That was one of the main reasons for me taking a break. I was in the last semester of grad school. I was trying to get out. And so that was the main reason we took a break. The whole main reason we took a break is because I could not balance everything and give y'all the best of myself while also trying to stick with work and grad school and all the other things going on in my life. Two, I had lost my father at the beginning of the year, and because of that year was a struggle. It was a little bit rough, which is okay, but because of that, I was also not in the best headspace and needed to take a break as well. It was just too much going on. But we are back, and we are better than ever. And we are still going strong. So that being said, if you are seeing this visually, welcome. I am trying this whole new visual thing out. The videos are now going to be on YouTube and possibly on the Facebook page. If you are hearing this through audio, then now you know it is also going to be a visual aspect of this. In the past, I did record every episode, but I did not always upload them. We're going to try to do better with that. So if you prefer more visual viewing of this information of the podcast, check out the YouTube. It'll be Wildlife Wonders Podcast with an S, all one, well, not all one word on there, but it'll be Wildlife Wonders Podcast. You can look up all the visual audio, all the visual podcast episodes. If you're okay with audio, you're listening to audio, that's fine too. So one, if you're not already, follow the Instagram page, Wildlife Wonders, WILDLIFE, Wonders with an S podcast, all one word, on Instagram. That is where I put updates. That is where I put other facts that maybe I don't share on the podcast episode about different animals. Any kind of cool things that pop up about animals is probably going to be on there. And then maybe a little bit about me. So Wildlife Wonders podcast with an S will be all the stuff that you need on Instagram. And then also there is a Facebook page called Wildlife Wonders Podcast. Right now, I do not believe there is anything on there. If it is, it's not much, but I'm going to try to get that up and running as well, or figure out how to sync that to the Instagram page so everything will just sync over. But without further ado, I believe that is all my updates there. I will say this episode might be a little bit out of order from the last one because there was an animal I learned about recently that I just wanted to share with y'all. So we are going to be talking about a bird today, and I'm not sure I can't remember exactly what order we were on from last time, but we're just going to start a new order, and that's okay. You're going to follow along. You're going to catch up. It's all right. So today we are going to be talking about a bird. Last reminder before I get into the bird of the day is that these episodes will continue to be released on Friday. That's the easiest for me to maintain. It'll either be a Friday or a Sunday. If something changes, I'll let you know ahead of time. But 9 times out of 10, we're going to stick with the Fridays like we were going to do before. And what I am going to continue to do is every other week, there will be a new episode. Now, if I'm feeling generous, I might also add in 2 episodes on a Friday or 2 episodes on a Sunday. But for right now, we're going to stick with one every other week. So every other Friday or every other Sunday, we will have a new episode out, and sometimes you might get 2. So just keep an eye out for that. Be like, when's the podcast coming out? Fridays. Every other Friday. I'll try to put up a schedule, but every other Friday. So I think that's the last announcement I had for y'all before we get into it. Yeah, I think that's it. So today we are going to be talking about a bird called the tawny frogmouth bird. This is a nocturnal bird that looks a lot like an owl. Y'all may have seen it before, but I wanted to tell y'all because I've never seen it before. I saw it for the first time last week and I was like, what the heck is this? Like, this looks interesting. It looks a lot like an owl. So they are actually not really related to owls. They are more related to nightjars than owls. They are 12 to 20 inches tall and have gray and brown feathers. They look like tree bark. Amazing camouflage. That is one of the highlights about them. They have amazing camouflage because if you weren't paying attention and if their eyes were closed and because they're so silent, you might not know that you're looking at a bird. But they have large flat heads with a wide hook beak and they have very, very large eyes, like an owl. So you might ask yourself, well, where are these animals found? Where are these animals found? They are found in Australia and New Guinea. I have never seen this animal in my life in person. At a zoo, at a sanctuary, none of those. Now, if they are at a zoo, maybe they're only at special zoos. So I don't know the chances of you actually getting to see this animal in person if you're listening in the US. But they are in Australia and New Guinea. They live in forests, woodlands, and urban areas. So they're pretty common all around, maybe to those Australians and what do you call a New Guinean person? New Guinean? A Guinean person? Pretty common there. Now, they are very, very, very silent perchers. They do not make no sound, okay? During the day, they sit quietly and they sit motionless. You will not know they're there half the time. They have very broad, short wings, which helps them fly silently. And they have excellent night vision and they hunt at night because they're nocturnal birds. They maintain their camouflage most of the day. I'm pretty sure most of the night too if they need to. And they don't really make any sounds unless it's mating season. So when I say these birds are quiet, they're quiet. They move in silence. They do love to eat though. They love insects, they love small animals, and they love other small mammals, I guess. So how it works when they're trying to hunt is that they sit there all motionless like this. And when they're ready, they see their prey. I guess they scoping the scenery out. They see their prey and they swoop in. Dead silent, y'all. They swoop in and catch the prey midair. Like, can you imagine as a small bird or a small animal just minding your business, think you about to go home, long day at work or hanging with the people or whatever, and next thing you know, you're getting swooped up in the middle of the flight. You just zoned out, head home, and then just like that. That's how it goes. So I feel bad, but that's pretty cool. I would love to see it. Maybe I'll even put a clip on the page, but that's how their diet goes. Now for mating, they usually mate between August and January, but it depends on region. They can mate outside of these times. So between August and January, they find who they want. The males go after the females. The males perform the calls and vocalizations to attract females. I feel like in a lot of birds, the males do their little dancey dance or their sounds to get the females. I am not a bird expert. I'm not huge on knowing all the different types of birds. I've never been huge on birds in general. I'm huge on mammals. But I can imagine if it's like other birds like peacocks, they are the colorful ones. They do their little dance. Cardinals, the males are the red ones. Penguins, they hold the eggs. I could go on and on with the number of birds. Rhinoceros, hornbills, oh, so cute in mating. But the male does a lot of the work. They build shallows and tree forks, and they are monogamous birds. That means one bird per other one male per female. They're not going to have side missions. Once they get with that person, they mate with that person. They both, the male and the female, both work together to raise the eggs up, raise the babies up. So they both incubate, and they both care for the babies when they are out of the shells. They incubate for about 30 days. So they take turns. Who's going to sit on the eggs tonight? You got babysitting duty tonight. I got babysitting duty to get where they need to be. Now, the thing about it is, I'm not really sure. Now, there are some birds that mate for life. I'm not really sure if they're the type of birds that mate for life, or it's just like, hey, we have our babies, we're raised up, we can split. Not sure on that part. They do have predators. Although they're very good camouflage. Is a lot, they're not getting eaten as much as other birds, but they do have predators. Most of the predators are going after the young. So their predators are birds of prey. This is mostly eagles and hawks. Foxes and domestic cats. You know, cats love to get those birds. It will always be the downfall of a lot of birds. And then snakes. The snakes are mostly going after the nestlings and the eggs. The cats and foxes could take out, I guess, an older owl, depending on how good they are. I'm not sure. And then, of course, the eagles and hawks can take out older birds, but they're mostly going after the younger birds and the I guess a little of the baby, the nestlings, if they need to. These birds can live 5 to 10 years, which I feel like is pretty long, but I guess might not be as long as some birds, but 5 to 10 years in the wild. Now, in captivity, they can live as much as 15 years or go even past 15 years sometimes. Now, if you've been on the podcast before, if you listen to other episodes, then you know I always preach that in captivity, most animals, not all, most animals live longer in captivity than they would in the wild. This is because in the wild, you have predators. You don't know when the food's gonna come. You have environmental changes. If they get sick, that's it. Versus in captivity, you have human intervention if they get sick. Their food is given to them. They don't have to work that hard for it. The food is given to them. They have a safe environment. Don't have to worry about environmental or habitat destruction because all that is cared for in the wild. Not in the wild, sorry. In captivity. So most animals in captivity always live longer anyway. Conservation status, they're of least concern. They Gucci. They don't really have much to worry about. Possibly because they live in so many different habitats. I mean, 30 days is not long to get a new baby from that. Yeah, they can be affected by habitat loss, just like most animals, and environmental changes, but for the most part, they're pretty good in the wild. And I think that is all that is all the facts I have for you for the most part for them. But here we go. The best part of the episode, at least my favorite part, the fun facts. So what are the fun facts for these birds? Well, one, we kind of hinted on already. They are camouflage experts. Their plumage or their feathers resemble tree bark, so they can blend seamlessly into their surroundings and avoid predators during the day. I guess at night, because they would kind of stand out because it's kind of dark. Maybe they're a little easier to see at night. I'm not sure. But yeah, during the day, they're good. They have very unique calls. They have a distinctive call that sounds like a low, haunting woo, woo. It don't sound that good, but woo, woo, which is often heard at night for communication between mates. Like I said before, they're pretty quiet during the day, so you're not going to hear them as much during the day, but at night, they get active. And number 3, they have very, very unique parenting strategies. Listen to this, parents take notes. When they are threatened, the adults will pretend to be injured or hurt to distract predators and draw attention from their nesting young. This in turn, the predator is like, ooh, what's going on there? Like, let me go check out the adult, and is less likely to bother the eggs or the nestlings because they're focused on the adults. That is great parenting right there. The adults say, I'm going to do what I have to do to save my kids. Now, is it a risk? Probably. But I think that's pretty cool. Anywho, we have come to an end of another Wildlife Wonders episode. I feel like this one's a little bit short, so I apologize for that. But maybe the next one will be a little bit longer. I just wanted to get y'all back into the swing of things because we're back. We are sharing the animal facts and sharing the love for the environment and the animals along the way. I will see y'all on the next episode. If you enjoyed this, feel free to give feedback on my Instagram page, on the Facebook page, or now that these videos will be live, you can also comment on YouTube. Like, subscribe, like the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, we will be there. So make sure you like and follow so that you stay updated when the next episode is dropped. Other than that, I hope y'all are enjoying spooky season, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.